Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is the RSN Wrestling Podcast, and this is our reaction, preview, basically our whole analysis of the Royal Rumble weekend festivities. Basically from Royal Rumble, Takeover, and then the Monday Night Raw following that. Those 3 weekend big blast events.
And SmackDown.
And SmackDown, dude, yes. And, basically the whole spectacle that's going to happen. My name is Sal. I'm the mastermind. That's what they call me. And then on the other side, we got Rich, the big guy.
What's up, fans?
Like I said, we're here. Basically, we're right here, both of us. We're going to go ahead and break down slowly Royal Rumble and talk about basically what's going to happen. Also Takeover, which is a very special event as well.
Just as we say in every podcast, we're not doing this for money. We're doing this for the love of the industry of wrestling.
Indeed. Yes. We do this for the love and the passion that we have for the wrestling industry, and that we're showing that we're invested, that we support this industry, that we are fully behind it.
We're not charging
of course,
$9.99 like certain companies.
We're not. Not at all. Indeed, we're not. In fact, wouldn't you say that we're kind of a package deal, right?
Yes, but just explain to the fans what you mean by that.
Oh, yes, I will, definitely. So, of course, all three of us have our parts in what we do here at RSN Wrestling Podcast, but also there's a lot more that we do beyond just podcasting like we're doing right now. We have the Twitter page that's run by Big Man Rich.
Yep.
At RSN Podcast, right?
Correct.
And, of course, that's all the rumor mill stuff. That's the stuff that's going on in the business, up-to-date stuff. He got the stuff before it even hits the mainstream and anything like that.
And I actually have something.
But also,
I also have something that I will reveal after you finish explaining the total package.
Indeed, we will. Yes. And also another big part of RSN Wrestling Podcast, or should I say its own independent part also, is a great site called PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion, by this guy named, not just any Nick Lopez, Nick Lopez. It is the Nick Lopez. Nicholas Lopez. It's Nick. You got to check that out for sure. It's ProWrestlingOpinion.com. Rich, just let me know what you think about that. PWO.
Well, I think he is hands down the writer, editor, chief of any segment by segment, up to date, play by play reactions, spectacles of main industry companies such as WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and even the little guys such as America's Most Liked Wrestling, West Coast Wrestling Connection. There's probably other companies he covers, but those are the main ones I remember. Yep.
And I mean, one thing I like about his site is that he breaks it down in depth.
In wrestling terms, out of 5 stars, he gets 6 stars.
6 stars. And in other terms, out of a 10 scale, he's a perfect 10, right?
He's 11.
11? He's 11. Right. Well, bringing us into that, we got to talk about big festivities. They've had NXT Brooklyn, big event, made success. NXT Toronto, big event, big success. Now they got NXT San Antonio, which is going to happen the night before the Royal Rumble. Stacked card, wouldn't you say?
Is TakeOver never a stacked card?
No, it's not. Well, it's always a stacked card. It's the fact. That's true. And that's no surprise either.
Name a TakeOver that had a weak card. I'll wait.
Let me think.
There was
We got to turn on this Jeopardy music. Let's see.
What is none?
I really can't say. Honestly, you're right. You're kind of nailing the head. We really can't say that there's a really weak performance of a TakeOver event.
And if you think about it, like 98% of the TakeOvers are better than the main card pay-per-views.
That's true. That's a fact. But I mean, let's look back at SummerSlam. SummerSlam weekend, NXT Brooklyn 2. It was pretty. It was a good match. It was a good card. Really good pay-per-view. Beat SummerSlam out of the door. And then of course we had What you call it? Survivor Series.
If you really want to get into it, the first Takeover Brooklyn, best Takeover ever.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, we'll probably be we'll put in a little favoritism because that was the first one, the best one, and it indeed was. But nonetheless, I mean, even if you look at,
we're also playing favorites because Brooklyn, of course.
Of course, Brooklyn. We have to, it's our home. But another thing too, of course, Toronto. Yeah, look at Toronto. NXT Toronto, pretty big event. Great card too. Great matches, great debuts, great introductions. Perfect card altogether. And then you look at Survivor Series with the 1 minute and 45 match.
1 minute and 26 seconds.
It's like, come on, you end up at your main event as 1 minute and 26 seconds. It's like, come on, how is that really something?
And this is actually a legit stat. Goldberg's entrance was longer than the match.
That's right. That's true. And that's kind of like, okay.
His entrance was 1 minute and 52 seconds. His match was 1 minute and 26 seconds.
Yeah, it seems like WWE has this record of disappointing the fans when it comes to those big four events, and that's been a record from time to time.
SummerSlam,
but yeah. Or look at SummerSlam, Taker and Undertaker, Taker and Brock, that bell ring that was out of nowhere, like what the hell? And then of course they got
Brock with Randy Orton.
Yeah. This whole list you could probably think of. Roman winning the Rumble like for 50,000 times. It's like, goddamn. When they had the chance, they fucked up. With Bryan, of course, Bryan should have won, but he didn't win. A whole bunch of different things, and it's like, come on, you guys keep disappointing. But let me ask you this about
one.
Yeah. Well, what about Takeover San Antonio with this whole card? Let's start from the very, very beginning. Let's talk about the beginning matches. Let's talk about Roderick Strong versus Andrade Almas.
I have to play favorites on this one. I gotta go with my boy Roddy.
I actually think probably a little different. I think Roderick just came in. They obviously want to have a long plan for him, but I think at the same time they want to build Andrade Cien Almas because now he has this whole heel turn and everything like that, and he's it's kind of a bad guy.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, that was unexpected, but it's something. It's refreshing to see that. It's kind of a good thing to see. It's like might as well. But it's been a while. It's kind of like he hasn't been going anywhere in his career. Might as well just give him the heel turn. It makes sense. But I have to go with Andrade.
I have to play favorite to my boy Roddy with my indie ROH guys.
Yep. Well, here's one thing. That's when Roderick Strong came in. I mean, I haven't been watching NXT lately, but Roderick Strong, he recently debuted, right? And it was a pretty big deal. Right? I was like, holy shit, he came to WWE, right?
He finally came to the big guns.
Kind of came to the big dog, right, and it was a big deal. Everybody was saying, holy crap, he signed up, he's on WWE.
If you watch his debut, he didn't get that big of a pop because the only fans that really know him are the internet vanilla marks, as Kevin Dunn likes to call us. Fucking prick.
Right. Fucking retard. I bet his show Total Divas is doing pretty fucking well when he has these so-called, indie stars that are making their shows and then appearances and everything. It's like, what the fuck, man? But like, what about? So of course, like that's just a starting match. Think about it. That's only a singles match. No titles online. No nothing. It's kind of interesting to see that. It's like, holy crap. It's kind of like when they had the same theme with other takeovers where they had a new star come in facing an established star or sort of an established star. Kind of feel that same kind of pattern, right?
Shinsuke versus Sami Zayn.
Yep. Classic match. Same thing. So it's been the same way.
Possible match of the year candidate for 2016.
Definitely is. But I mean, of course, if you're looking at any kind of match where there is this kind of formula, it makes sense. It's pretty good. It kind of establishes stars. It kind of passes the torch, kind of, and plus it kind of gives new light on what's going on.
He kind of did basically pass the torch to Shinsuke.
Yeah, technically, yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. But I think it's also a room for speculation to say, okay, maybe someone should be moving up to the main roster.
Another one was also Bayley and Asuka.
Yeah, same kind of deal. It's like match. Yep, last match, and she ended up making it and then going to the main roster, which made sense. It's like, okay, that's a good thing now.
Finn and Joe.
Yeah, Finn and Joe for sure. Finn, of course, Joe putting on one hell of a show.
Wait,
and then Finn going out.
Wasn't Finn's swan song against Shinsuke?
Yeah, against Shinsuke. Right. Yeah, I think that was a special thing because what they wanted was, of course, they brought in Shinsuke, so they're like, all right, we brought in Shinsuke. We're trying to establish him. So, and then I think the last minute they said, all right, you know what? We're gonna keep him for that one night, and just have him face Finn, and then that's it. And then they did that right there.
Not
And of
like
course,
that, they dedicated one whole NXT episode to him.
that's another thing too. It's like this guy's leaving. It makes sense to have it happen. But
46-minute match.
Yeah, it makes sense though. I mean, it makes sense. Sometimes it makes sense to say.
Finn Balor's final NXT match was against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Right. It was an NXT taping. It was an NXT taping, I believe. Yeah, and it was a full match. The whole match was an episode, which it was perfect. I think that's probably one of the best episodes ever.
I think it was great.
Yeah. But speaking of Swan Song and call-ups, we got another match too. Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger. Personally, when I look at this, I kind of say it seems like they're kind of teasing something. I think we were talking about this before, right?
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 9 comes out. 10. Guess who it is?
It's the perfect 10.
Ty fucking Dillinger. Makes sense, Perfect 10. Perfect 10 comes out. That's it. I see this is how it's going to go. I think it's probably Eric Young's going to win. The establishment of this whole Sanity faction. And then, of course, Ty Dillinger's going to end up being on the main roster.
It's his time. If you've been watching the past couple weeks, they're basically saying, what's next for Ty? What's next for Ty? What's next for Ty?
Right.
Is Ty staying?
Mm-hmm. I think it makes sense too, because look at Ty Dillinger's career from the very, very, very beginning. From the very get go, he had all these different name changes. He started in OVW. Then after that,
he got kicked in the face by Shawn Michaels backstage, if you remember.
Yep. I remember that. Yeah. He did a little cameo.
What's your name? Stan. Boom. See?
Stan.
I just kicked Stan.
Stan. Right. I remember that. Yeah, that was classic. And that's one thing too. He went from doing that to going to FCW, bouncing around in developmental, going to OVW, to the point where they kind of said, all right, I don't know what to do with this guy. Let's just fire him. And then going to NXT, I think it's overdue. I think he needs to come through the main roster soon. It makes sense.
I was talking to my fiance about this when he became the perfect 10.
Yep.
If he was 10 years younger at 24 years old, this would have been the perfect gimmick for him. But he's 34 years old.
But that doesn't stop anybody. I don't think that should stop anybody from wrestling. I think it's pretty, I think he's still going to be able to have a chance. If you look at all the big
coming
names.
Up to the main roster, this perfect 10 gimmick would have been perfect if he was 10 years younger. Because on the main roster, I don't think this gimmick's going to last.
Who knows? Well, Vince has this whole history of nixing gimmicks and tossing people out the window and saying, that's not working, this is not working, it's not going to work at all. And then he totally just throw it out. But, I have to see. Look at, for example, Tyler Breeze. Totally gone. Now he's a fashion police. Come on, man. It doesn't make any sense.
Gay.
Yep. Exactly. It's come on, what the fuck? You guys are really just, they're not doing anything with their careers. If he were to go to indie wrestling scene, he'd be probably one of the biggest stars right now. But I guess that's what Vince wants.
Look at, as we know him, CJ Parker. He's one of the biggest guys in Japan as Juice Robinson.
Yep. I recently had a match with Cody Rhodes, which you can check out on I think it was there was Wrestle Kingdom 10. So
Wrestle Kingdom 11 on YouTube.
Yep. 11 should I say? Yeah, right. But
give him about 2-3 weeks. It will be up on ProWrestlingOpinion.com.
Definitely, it will for sure. And we're definitely waiting for that.
That was a cheap plug for you, Nick. Just so you know.
Always full of cheap plugs here. That's one thing. But then let's talk about, of course, the championship matches. We got pretty much the Fatal 4-Way match for the NXT Women's title, the tag titles, and then, of course, the world title, basically an NXT title match. Let's start off with, I guess, the Fatal 4-Way match. Personally, I haven't seen any of what's going on right here, but I think you should elaborate on this. What do you think about this whole dynamic going on right here?
Well, obviously, Asuka is going into the match as champ, as everyone knows. Nikki Cross is, if you haven't been watching the past couple weeks, she's the female persona in the group Sanity, which is led by Eric Young. And everyone knows Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the two Australian girls. Basically, every week for the past month and a half, Peyton and Peyton and Billie have been attacking Nikki Cross and Asuka and anyone who's in matches with them. I personally think it should be Asuka versus Nikki Cross versus Billie Kay versus Ember Moon. And if you want to throw a fifth person in there, just throw Liv Morgan.
Right. I think it's basically WWE's attempt to try to build more stars out of just I think desperation, because it's like, okay, it seems like they're kind of pushing someone out to put in the main roster. Who do you think they're kind of pushing out in the Divas division?
Asuka.
Yeah, because I'm thinking the same thing. It's like they have Shinsuke, who's basically like the big star, and I think Vince is very, very high on bringing him to the main roster. Same thing with Asuka. It's the same kind of deal.
Well,
if they brought her in,
Triple H is basically controlling the call-ups, I believe.
Really, he is?
I believe so.
Interesting. Well, but that's so you think probably who's gonna win this match?
I think Nikki Cross. I think she's gonna be the first champion in Sanity.
So you think the future Sister Abigail will become women's champ?
No, the future Sister Abigail is Crazy Mary Dobson.
Really?
That's what I believe. I think she's the perfect Sister Abigail. She has that persona.
Really? So I mean, with Nikki Cross, I think I agree with that. I think probably Nikki Cross has a high chance of winning because it kind of seems like they're trying to have this whole thing
we could agree
surrounded by sanity.
We could agree if Ember Moon was in this match, she would win.
Definitely. And I think what's going to be even better is to see down the line a match between Asuka and Ember Moon. I think that'll be their swan song probably for Asuka.
That'll be Asuka's swan song?
Mm-hmm. Has to be. It has to happen because it's like, it makes sense because, you know, Ember Moon probably is one of the hottest divas right now. She's basically like the Apollo Creed of the women's division. Not because she's black, of course, but because
you mean Apollo Crews?
It's the same. Yeah, Apollo Creed. God damn, I pulled the same botch. But yeah, it's like, I mean, it's the same kind of deal because you see her and you see like I remember, like, I'll tell you personally, when we were in Brooklyn NXT Takeover, the first one, and you saw Apollo Crews come out and he was doing his thing, you were kind of like, oh, whatever, he's a whatever.
Apollo
everything.
Creed?
And then next thing you see him, Apollo Creed, Apollo Crews. But then next thing you know,
thank you, Miz.
Thank you, Miz. Thank you, Daniel Bryan. Like, come on. But then, like, if you see that whole match, you know, I was shocked. I was like, holy crap, this guy can really do something. And of course, he had a whole.
What was his name? Oa Nation or something?
Uha
I know
Nation.
I'm mispronouncing it.
I think Uha Nation, something like that, yeah. But he was, like, crazy. And I saw it, I was like, holy crap. But then we see Ember Moon.
I know I'm mispronouncing it, but it wasn't as bad as yours.
Uha Nation.
Your botch was much worse. Apollo Crews. Really?
Apollo. It's Apollo Crews, yeah. But still, it was like, holy crap. Like, and then you see Ember Moon doing all this kind of crazy stuff with her finisher. It makes sense, you know. It's pretty much like the same kind of deal they're kind of doing.
Her move is amazing.
Yeah. Her finishing is crazy. Like, it's phenomenal.
Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah. That looks dope, though, no lie.
That probably hurts like a motherfucker, though.
What I think also, what I'm noticing, like, I'm seeing some of the things at PC, the WPC. If you go on their, like, Instagram, they have, I think, an Instagram account or a Twitter account where they show what's going on at Performance Center. And you see Emma, like, you see Ember Moon doing all this kind of crazy stuff. She's lifting, like, I think 400 pounds, squatting and all that stuff, deadlifting, pressing it, all that stuff. She's a beast. She's freaking, it's crazy. And she has a lot of strength. It's crazy. It's crazy strength. So it's crazy. But, I mean, I'd say probably, if it's in this match, probably Asuka's going to win, I think. I'm thinking probably now that Asuka's going to win and then end up having her match with Ember Moon.
I think Nikki.
That can happen. Never know. But then what about DIY versus the Authors of Pain? And this match is for the tag title.
This is hard because I like both of them.
I think this is a scenario that might happen. DIY goes to the main roster. This is just one song. Authors of Pain end up winning the titles.
Well, my personal opinion, I think it was supposed to be TM61 against DIY, but I always forget his name because I'm used to the other names as the Mighty Don't Kneel.
Yeah.
But one of them had a serious knee injury. He's out 7 to 9 months.
Yeah.
So I think
they're probably setting up for something to come back. Maybe when they come back, they're probably gonna get the shot against the Authors of Pain, and then next thing you know, they'll set up something from there.
That's what I was thinking was supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, think about this: Authors of Pain, they recently won the Tag Classic. You know, why not have them go ahead and win the tag titles instead? You know, just to follow up with that. So it kind of makes sense to just have them, go ahead and win the titles.
Shane Thorne.
Yeah.
That's the one who got hurt.
He got injured, right? Yeah. But it's like, it's the same thing. It's kind of like if you look at DIY's performance, the last 3 matches they had with the Revival, it kind of was like the same kind of thing. They were targeting Johnny Gargano and his fucking leg. I bet the same kind of story is going to happen here, where they target Johnny Gargano's leg, and then that kind of opens up everything, and then that's it. They end up winning the titles. I think that's generally going to happen. And of course, you got the element of the manager on the outside, Paul Ellering. Who knows what's going to happen? Something's going to happen. They might be able to screw him, or something's
He's always known
some kind
for
of
interfering.
Yeah, he basically does something, and and basically helps him win a match. But it kind of seems like that's how they're going.
Even when he was managing the Road Warriors and Legion of Doom, however you know them, he always interfered with them too.
Right. But I mean, here's one thing too: has WWE ever had a good heel tag team as of now?
The Revival.
I mean, the Revival, yeah, but like any other team beside that? They really don't, unless you want to count Sanity. But it really, they're not established enough. So, what the problem I think WWE has right now is that they don't have an established heel tag team or heel tag team that's a big dominant force. And it seems like they're kind of pushing these 2 guys as big guys.
The last one you could really think of was the Shield.
Yeah. Or maybe in the future, that's probably what they're shooting for. They're shooting for the Authors of Pain and the Shield kind of deal, where it's like, okay, these 2 tag teams, collide, and the next thing you know, that's it. Shit goes bonkers. But again, we'll never know. But then, what about, of course, the final match? Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bobby Roode.
I think Bobby, because I think they're going to call up Shinsuke.
Well, technically, I mean, I haven't watched NXT at all, but take me through what's going on so far. Like, what's the build for this?
Just a lot of trash talking. That's really it.
And that's it? That's all it is?
Just a lot of trash talking. Because they probably, instead of building actual physical and all that, they're basically just getting into each other's heads.
They're just talking shit about each other?
Yeah, which will basically lead to a great match.
I think it is. That's true. I think that's probably the best way to build this, because it's like, if they do anything physical, I mean, look at them gimmick-wise. Shinsuke Nakamura is kind of like this, what should I say, flamboyant character, right? And then, of course, you got Bobby Roode as this cocky, arrogant.
The one thing that pissed off Bobby Roode at the contract signing, he was getting ready to say, I'm ready to make the NXT title glorious. Mm-hmm. Right before he said it, Shinsuke cuts him off. And you basically see Roode saying about to say, you better not fucking do it. Shinsuke comes out and says, in his Japanese accent, glorious.
Really? It's kind of like when Samoa Joe and him had a fight, and then what did he do? He basically just grabbed him by the nose and took it. And then, of course, you see Joe being acting like a crazy bull in a china shop.
Acting like, God, that was amazing.
And here's what's really crazy. I think this is what they're kind of doing with Shinsuke. Shinsuke Nakamura, what's he always wearing? What color?
Red and black.
Always red and black. And if you think about it, if you see the what you call it? You know those guys that are always teasing the bulls and everything, or taunting them?
Yeah.
Matadors, like the Matadors. They always taunting people with the what you call it, the red cloth, right? They always taunting the bull with the red cloth. I feel like that's what they're doing with kind of Shinsuke Nakamura. He's kind of like this guy that isn't a face, isn't a heel, who just is kind of like an annoying person, just to get in the face of like the big heel and
Shinsuke
get
is
them mad.
Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. But I think that's perfect. That's a perfect gimmick for him. It kind of that like come to think of it,
It fits him
that's where it
perfect.
brought to me. I was like, holy shit, that's right. So I was like, goddamn.
If you
But
think
then,
about it,
of course,
with Finn and Shinsuke, there was no actual build up.
yeah, no build up at all.
It just
But it was
happened.
one hell of a match. Yeah.
You know it's a great match if
So I
they
think that's
dedicate one episode of friggin' NXT to you.
yeah, and that's on your way out too. That's even better. It's like goddamn. But I mean, it kind of makes sense because it's like like I think what's happening with NXT now is that they're having too many stars, and it's just like what do they do with them? And it's kind of okay. Now we have to kind of ramp up and bring in more stars in out of nowhere, developing them,
But
and
the
then
funny
pushing them. And
part
it's kind of a
is,
challenge for them now.
with NXT, you don't need like a big person.
Yeah.
You just have so
And
many people that you could build around. And
yeah.
it's like everyone says, NXT is the better show, and they're only 1 hour.
Stay tuned, everybody, for our Royal Rumble review podcast, which will be coming up soon. We'll also be having our preview, and also following that, a reaction of pretty much the whole Royal Rumble weekend. Hope to see you soon. Keep in touch with us.